So good morning. I wanted to talk with you because after talking with Operation Food Search, they said that you have designed this app where the proceeds from it can go to helping food pantries in the area. I don't really know much about this app. Could you tell me about it and how you got started?
Yeah, absolutely. So the basic premise is that Giftameal is a way for people to easily support local restaurants and the food insecure in the community. So you can help those in need just by dining out or getting takeout. And so we have a free mobile app for iPhone and Android, and users just need to take a photo of their order of dine-in or takeout from one of our 200 plus partner restaurants. And when they do that, we make a donation to Operation Food Search to help cover their costs of getting a meal to someone in need out of a neighborhood pantry. And so we currently have over 200 partner restaurants and have provided over 500,000 meals to those in need so far. And we're kind of scattered all across the greater St. Louis area on both sides of the river. We're as far south as Festus, have restaurants in Wentzville. We have a restaurant in Central West End, Clayton, downtown, kind of all over the place.
How did you come up with this idea?
So I started this when I was still a student at WashU. So I founded this in October 2015 when I kind of came up with the idea over that summer when I was at a venture capital internship, and there were a lot of startups coming in, and I was on a lunch break and talking with the other intern about how millennials especially are making purchasing decisions based on values, and how the restaurant industry is really competitive. So thinking through a way to help support restaurants from that marketing side that wasn't a financial incentive and was something socially conscious. And so pulling inspiration from kind of the buy one, give one models of Tom Shoes and Warby Parker, as well as kind of social viral campaigns like the LS Ice Bucket Challenge. And there was a website, freerice.com, that was engaging people, came up with the idea of kind of combining those all together to take a photo to give a meal. Put my savings into it, hired an app development company, and just kind of went from there and graduated in May 2017 and then went full-time on the business, and I've been growing it ever since.
Wow, very cool. And how do you approach restaurants to be partners with you?
Yeah, so sometimes restaurants approach us, sometimes we reach out to them on phone call or Instagram, direct messaging them, or we get introductions from our current restaurant partners to other restaurants, or our users. A lot of the times will tell restaurants about us, and that's how a restaurant will find out about us. Or if they find out about us through media publicity and things like that. From the restaurant perspective, so the restaurants are paying us to be on the app. So that's where the money comes from to make this all possible and what funds all these donations. From the restaurant perspective, Giftameal is a mix of marketing and giving back. As I mentioned earlier, it's that incentive of somebody to support this business because they're giving back, and it's kind of like a plug and play social responsibility tool for the restaurant that effectively transforms their business into a social venture. So every business can have the act of dining out at their restaurant be a give back as well. And so for the restaurants, it's saying, hey, we have 40,000 people on this app. And we've seen that when customers use Giftameal, on average, they're returning more frequently and tipping more than other customers. And so it drives a real business value for the restaurant in addition to the social impact value for Operation Food Search and the community. And so that's been really great to see, especially during a pandemic where restaurants have been really hit, to see how we can support their businesses, since every dollar counts for them of incremental revenue, in addition to supporting the food insecure and all the amazing work Operation Food Search is doing to help the neighbors in need.
You started in 2015. Have there been significant changes over COVID? I mean, the fact that you can do dine out food, I think, is probably huge, but have the restaurants seen a change in that?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have takeout or delivery or anything like that as an option before the pandemic. So it was actually on March 17th, so just like right after dining closed, was when we launched our pivot to allow people to take a photo from home of their takeout or delivery orders as well. So we kind of started on that feature development in February when we kind of saw the writing on the wall for what was happening around the world and in the United States. So we were very fortunate we were able to get that tech change out there right when everything kind of went down. So that pivot to working with having Giftameal work for takeout and delivery was huge. We've also looked to see how we can support the restaurants through taking out pain points of theirs. So we've provided restaurants with free floor decals, for instance, to help with social distancing, and just trying to help promote them however we can on social media. Or we started a podcast called Food on the Table to share the stories of people that are putting food on the table for everybody, whether it's the restaurants or hunger relief organizations. And so just doing everything we can to kind of help both of these populations of the restaurant owners and managers and staff who are struggling throughout all this and are on the front lines of interacting with people all the time, and also people that face daily food insecurity. And food insecurity has been on the rise, unfortunately, in the greater St. Louis area and around the US. Before the pandemic, it was 1 in 7 children in the greater St. Louis area faced daily food insecurity, which is still not good, but now it's 1 in 4, which is just kind of crazy to think about. 4 children being in the room and one of them being food insecure. So when we're looking to see what we can do during all this, that's what really inspires us. And I think it's something really great for the restaurants that partner with us as well. In addition to trying to get some more business going and having Giftameal be streamed for that, I think that the pandemic can make everybody feel kind of powerless against a lot of these kind of forces that are against us and these really challenging times. And but I think that Giftameal has helped provide a source of light and optimism and power for a lot of these restaurants to do something good. Even if they're struggling, and they could say, wow, I helped provide 125 meals to those in need this month through the Giftameal program. So even though I'm struggling, I'm still able to make a difference in my community. And every meal really does count. Each meal is 1.2 pounds of food that's distributed to a neighborhood pantry. That's groceries donated by Schnucks and Earbergs and community food drives and US Foods and Cisco to Operation Food Search. So meat, produce, dairy products, canned goods. And so that can really help hold people over for the day. And then also this money is helping fund Operation Food Search's other programs that are identifying the root causes of hunger and helping to solve those as well. So, Giftameal is a very small part of everything that's happening, but it does feel really good to know that we're making a positive impact. And it's not just that we're doing it, it's that all of these 40,000 users and 200 plus restaurants are being enabled to help make a difference in their communities.
Do you have any plans for expanding or other areas you could open into after COVID or in this next year?
Yeah, well, already we've diversified the types of businesses we can work with, because we had a lot of places reaching out to us that we just said, sorry, it doesn't really fit kind of our core of what we do. But now during the pandemic, we've kind of shifted everything. And so now we have different types of places that aren't a typical restaurant on the app. Like we have food trucks on the app. We have a charcuterie board delivery company. We have pop-up shops on the app. So, it's like we even have like a DIY pizza making kit that's sold at grocery stores on the app, a pop-up bar. So, all these different types of businesses that can be included in what we're trying to do. So that's something really exciting. And then we're also looking at more geographical expansion as well, both throughout the greater St. Louis area, and then also looking at other cities that we can be expanding into to take what we've done in St. Louis and say, okay, this model has been working. Let's see how we could expand this nationally. We've had different cities and reach out to us in the past of both, individuals, restaurants, we've even had nonprofits. We've even had governmental legislatures reach out to us. It kind of made us feel like Amazon once. We got a letter in the mail that was like a signed appeal from the legislature in Buffalo, New York, asking us to expand to Buffalo. And They published it in their local newspaper as well. So I got an email about it before I got the letter in the mail, because I have a Google alert set up for Giftameal for when we're mentioned in the news. And so I was like, what, why are we in the Erie County News newspaper? And it was their signed appeal asking us to expand to Buffalo. And so, we're a small team. We have 3 of us full-time, a couple part-time, and a couple interns. And so, when we're looking at tackling national expansion, that's a big task ahead of us. But there's definitely the need out there, both from the food insecure side of things and the restaurant side. And so that's definitely something that we're going to look to meticulously, but also aggressively pursue, since we know the need is there.
It seems like it's a win-win from every side. The restaurants are getting promotion, they're doing social good. It doesn't cost people to have the app downloaded. Do you find now that you are eating exclusively from restaurants on your app, or how, like, in
I
your own
try as
life?
much as I can to support those restaurants. I'd say I'd probably dine out about or take out 75% from Giftameal restaurants. 25% I would say would be market research of the restaurants that are not on Giftameal. My girlfriend and I a couple months ago tried peel pizza in Clayton for the first time and ate out on the patio, and it was terrific and everything. And then I went over to our team member who's our restaurant liaison. I was like, George, you got to get peel pizza on the app. It was so good. And their 3 locations just joined yesterday. And so I'm not attributing that all to just George was the one that was talking with them. But I like to support all the restaurants in the St. Louis area as well, not just the Giftameal ones, but the Giftameal restaurants have a special place in my heart for sure.
Is there a way for people who are maybe not eating out but are buying groceries? Is there any way that they can kind of join in and support somehow?
Yeah, it's a good question. So right now we do have one market that's on Giftameal, Greenleaf Market, in kind of the downtown area. So if somebody gets groceries from there, they can take a picture of that to Giftameal. And then J.R. Cabasso's Pizza is the DIY pizza kit that I mentioned that's sold at Schnucks and Deerberg's and other places. And so somebody could search J.R. Cabasso's Pizza and take a picture of it from home. For other groceries, we don't have like partnerships with Schnucks or Deerberg's or Trader Joe's or Whole Foods or anything like that yet. It's something that we're interested in doing. I think it's just figuring out the right way to do it would be the big thing. Because, it's a lot easier to conceptualize, okay, I have food in front of me, I can take a photo to Giftameal. Everyone's taken like a food photo before. If it's the bag of groceries, it's like, okay, do I take the photo after I've made something with it? How often do I do that? So I think that's something that we're still trying to figure out. But I definitely think there could be something there. But yeah, somebody could still order from a restaurant, either by third-party delivery or from the restaurant's website or by doing takeout, and still support if they don't want to do outdoor or indoor dining.
Awesome. Well, I know that I'll be downloading the app immediately and kind of starting from there.
Awesome.
Very cool. Any other plans or information you want to share?
Oh yeah, so I almost forgot to include this. So when you take a photo on the app, you're posting that photo on that restaurant's profile on the app, so that other people can see like the food. So if you're deciding where to eat, you can see the other photos that were taken on Giftameal. And for doing that, we provide one meal. If you want it to be a private photo, you can also change your privacy settings to make it just so your friends on the app can see it, because you can add friends by syncing with Facebook and things like that. But yeah, so taking a photo on the app is one meal provided, and then you're given the option to share your photo on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter to give a second, third, or fourth meal as well. So one photo that you take could end up providing 4 meals to those in need. So there really is that big multiplier effect. And the reason we do that is because then when you're sharing out that photo, not only are you broadcasting that you're making an impact, but you're also promoting that restaurant as well and helping support that local business. And when you share that photo, we add in like that restaurant's logo, and there's a circle on the bottom right-hand corner of that photo. So that when you're sharing it out, it's promoting that restaurant's business as well. So you're showing, hey, I'm doing something positive for the community. All my friends out there, you can do something positive as well. And hey, here's a really great socially conscious business that you can support. And that's been great to see that, a lot, sometimes people don't want to overflow their Instagram feed with like a photo every day. So like, if I eat at the same breakfast restaurant every day, maybe I don't want to post that same photo every day. But we've seen that 35% of the time people take photos on Giftameal, they're sharing on social media as well. And so that's also been something really great to see in terms of people promoting that support. And that's up from 22% from before the pandemic. And so that's been really, really great to see. The users really rallying around these socially conscious restaurants that need the support.
And probably I can bet that some of them are doing like you're doing, going to a restaurant that's not on it and convincing them like, oh, have you heard of this? You should probably sign up,
Yeah.
I'm generally eating at these Giftameal restaurants, and it would be, beneficial for you guys to join it.
Yeah. And if there's any restaurant out there that wants to join Giftameal, it takes 5 minutes at giftameal.com/join. And if somebody ever is talking to a restaurant, they can always just say, go to giftameal.com/contact, and they can fill out the contact form, reach out to us to let us know, hey, there's this restaurant. And we even have a referral program from users as well at giftameal.com/refer, where if a user introduces us to a restaurant not on Giftameal and then that restaurant joins, then we donate $50 to Operation Food Search in that user's name. And as a thank you, and we also buy that user a $50 gift card to that restaurant as a thank you. So then, the restaurant gets that $50 in revenue for the gift card, and then the user can then go support that restaurant and use their phone to gift a meal. So trying to create those win-win-win scenarios like you were talking about earlier.
That's great. Did you ever anticipate that this would be kind of what you were working on?
I mean, there were plenty of times, especially, creating this in college, that I was uncertain. I mean, there's so many ups and downs in entrepreneurship, and especially when doing this in college, you see all of your friends going out and getting these big name internships at big companies, and especially being in the business school at WashU. And so, there is that little bit of like that voice in your head being like, Andrew, like, what are you doing with like doing this startup and everything? And, like taking like the 30K annual startup salary rather than going after one of these like investment banking jobs or something like that. But whenever I thought about it and thought about whether I'd be happier going the other pathway, I really realized the sense of fulfillment I get from doing Giftameal, from that social impact side of things, and from the restaurant side of things, and talking with them and seeing the impact we've had on their businesses. And then also just the potential for growth for Giftameal is something that's been really exciting for me, and just working with really great people on our team. We have a small team, but everybody has their heart in it and their heads in the right place with everything, and the vision's aligned. So, entrepreneurship is a challenging place to be, but I'm like all in for it, and my day to day, I feel happy and optimistic, and it feels very fulfilling.
Well, I can't wait to see kind of how you guys grow over this year, and to start sending some pics of my food in.
Absolutely. Sounds good to me.
It was really nice to connect with you, Andrew.
Yeah, good.
And I hope that we can kind of collaborate a bit in the future.
Yeah.
It seems like you've got some exciting plans. So
yeah, absolutely.